Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Street Law with your host, Ainemba Wazi. This is a channel where we break down some legal nuggets for your general information that are happening in the Pearl of Africa. So today we are talking about something very sensitive, matrimonial property. What is matrimonial property? Who owns what in the matrimonial property? And I will begin by giving you a story of the recent decision that evoked some unholy emotions among the women and got the other gender doing a happy dance. This decision was by the Court of Appeal on the 14th of November 2022. To accord them privacy, I'm not going to mention their names, but this couple met when they were really young. It was an early marriage. The girl was 19 years old and the man was 24 years old. The girl was a primary school dropout. So they started cohabiting and had 4 wonderful children. The man invested in the woman by taking her back to school to finish her primary school at Nakasero, and then obtained a certificate in tailoring, and then later on did a diploma in designing, something like that. And also took her to driving school. In the story, it is actually alleged by the man that this is where the woman met the man that finished their marriage. Yeah, but during that time that they were cohabiting, the man bought a piece of land and then started developing it. They built a house. The woman says that she participated in that project. How? She was involved in looking for the land, in the construction, she supervised the site, she cooked for the workers. She also contributed monetarily by using her Kameza money that was left by the husband. So later on, they get married after 16 years of cohabitation. They go to church, legalize their marriage, and come back to this very home that they had built and raise their children until the marriage got rocky and the man had to seek a divorce. Now, the question, of course, was this really matrimonial property? And if it was, how much share should be given to the woman? For those of us who are more accustomed to weddings in church, we know about vows like, all I have, I give to you. But remember, this is on the very first day of the marriage. And if I was to take that for what it is, all that you have by that day, you give to me. But the law is saying, no, what have you contributed in all that I have today at the commencement of our marriage? So it brings us to now the conversation about what exactly is this matrimonial property and what share do you have in it. There is no definite answer. Each marriage story is very peculiar, so you have to look at it case by case basis. And courts have really tried to consider each marriage the way it is, and you realize that in this very case that we are talking about, even if the property was acquired before the marriage, this was regarded matrimonial property. Matrimonial property, generally speaking, is that property that is made during the marriage and jointly contributed to by each party. But also, if you have property that you acquire before the marriage, and then the other party or spouse helps in developing it during the marriage, that will also fall in the category of matrimonial property. Also, if you agree that we are going to call this matrimonial property or a home, if a woman gets married to a man who already has a residential house, and they agree that this is going to be our matrimonial home, that then will be regarded as matrimonial home, even if I found you with it. But that agreement is not just in words. Either you labor to have the title transferred into the names of both parties, or you have this sort of agreement in writing, or there should be some correspondence to show that indeed this couple reached an agreement to regard this as their matrimonial home. Because there are several properties that each individual is entitled to. The property that I come with into the marriage, the property that I make independently in the marriage, the property that I probably hold on in trust for the clan members and etc., that is supposed to be separated if it doesn't have the contribution of the other person. So now that we have a hint about what matrimonial property could be or is, so then the question is, how much does each person or party to the marriage own in this matrimonial property? The law is cognizant of the fact that contribution is either monetary or non-monetary, can be direct or indirect. So yes, the ironing of the shirts, the cooking, the unpaid care and domestic work is still recognized. It's actually recognized globally, and to contribute about 9.1%, 909% to the global gross GDP. So it is something that is important and it is considered. But then this decision, the Court of Appeal was only trying to say that, can we get into this unpaid care and domestic work and try to quantify it and try to find what value to give it, rather than regard it as a paycheck to 50% into someone else's wealth. That is all that they were really trying to concentrate on, because there's a wide presumption that all matrimonial property, the man and the woman share 50%. But court was only trying to say that no, even the unpaid care we shall recognize, but can we try to quantify it? If it's 10%, can we get to know that? If it's 90%, can we also get to know that? So in this case, for example, you realize the man took back the woman to school. That too was also valued, and it was sort of used to bring down her share in the matrimonial property. That yes, you weren't working when I was building and buying this plot of land, but you gave me this unpaid care and did the domestic work. But again, I also rendered this. I took you back to school. You became employed. By the time the divorce happened, she was self-employed. She was a tailor, a designer, she was a baker. She was an exposed person. All this is valued, each against the other. You also look at the unpaid care of the man, not just for the woman. So at the end of the day, court gave this woman 20% in this property, rather than the 50% that the High Court had given her, basing on the fact that the man had also invested in the woman. So generally speaking, marriage is not a straightforward, it's not a paycheck to 50% ownership in someone's wealth. Unlike the presumption that has been held widely, even by men who end up fearing these marriages and etc., thinking that a woman is going to take half of my property, court is now saying we need to really quantify what the other person brought on board. It's not just 50%, it could be less, it could be more. That's it for today. If you have any questions, if they are personal, you can drop me an email that is on the screen. You can leave a comment and let me know if this was helpful. Don't forget to like, to subscribe. That is the best way you can support me to keep bringing you these videos. Until next time, bye-bye.